Hi, this is Dr. Rajita. Welcome back to Anatomy channel. Today we will learn about stomach histology. And grossly, stomach is divided into the cardiac end, where the stomach continues as esophagus above, and the upper part of the stomach is called fundus. Then rest of the part is called body, and before continuing into duodenum, it is called as pyloric part. So we shall see histology. The stomach has got the layers which are common with the rest of the gastrointestinal tract, like mucosal layer, submucosa, then muscularis externa and serosal layer. The mucosal layer of the stomach has got three components. One is the epithelium, lamina propria and muscularis mucosa. These three components together called as mucosa. And epithelium is the simple columnar epithelium, which is mucus secreting epithelial cells, produces mucin and protects the epithelium against the action of gastric glands, that is HCl and pepsin. And then the next to the epithelium, the deeper layer is the lamina propria. The lamina propria in the stomach, it appears to be scanty because it is invaded by glands which are called as gastric glands. And below the lamina propria is muscularis mucosa. The muscularis mucosa is more prominent in the stomach, having inner circular layer and outer longitudinal layer. And there is a layer of connective tissue below the mucosal layer, that is called as submucosa, which consists of loose areolar tissue and blood vessels and nerve plexus, which are called as Meissner's plexus, lymphatics. And muscularis externa in the stomach is made up of three layers. The innermost layer is the oblique layer, then circular layer, then outer longitudinal layer of muscles. And externally, the stomach is covered by a simple squamous epithelium, which is called as serous layer. So starting with the fundus, the unique features of the fundus, it has got fundus or the body, both has the common histological structure, where they have glands which are called as gastric glands. And mucus is thrown into several folds which are called as mucus folds, and these mucus folds are seen with the naked eye, which are called as rugae, and they get disappeared when the stomach is distended. And the deeper end between the mucus folds continues to form the glands which are called as gastric glands. Gastric glands, here the gastric pits continues to form gastric glands, and gastric pits occupy only the 1/4 of the mucosa, and the rest of the mucosa consists of gastric glands. The gastric glands, in a closer view, if we see, it has got the mucous neck cells, then parietal cells, which are also called as oxyntic cells, and chief cells, which are called as zymogen cells or peptic cells. So first we shall see about mucous neck cells. Mucous neck cells are mucus secreting cells present between the junction of the gastric pit and the gastric gland. And mucous neck cells, the mucus which is secreted by these cells, chemically it is different from the mucus which is secreted by the epithelial cells. And the cells appears to be empty, having a nucleus pushed towards the periphery because the cytoplasm is filled with the mucin. And next to this, we can see large beaded appeared cells which are called as parietal cells. The parietal cells are eosinophilic, so appear to be brightly pink, and they push the basement membrane and occupies the lamina propria, appearing a beaded appearance. And these parietal cells, which are also called as oxyntic cells, they are present in the upper part of the gastric gland. They are more prominently seen in the upper part of the gastric gland. Near the basal part of the gastric gland, there are basophilic cells which are called as chief cells or zymogen cells or granular cells. The chief cells or zymogen cells, they produce pepsin. Pepsin is the gastric secretion, which is an enzyme which is a proteolytic enzyme. and initially they produce prototype of pepsin, which is called as pepsinogen, and the pepsin is secreted by chief cells. The auxentic cells or the parietal cells, these beaded cells, will produce HCl, and the secretions are poured into the gastric pits. Further they open up into the lumen of the stomach. So that is about the gastric glands. There are other cells which are called as endocrine cells and stem cells, which are also present in the basal part of the gastric gland. Endocrine cells produce gastrin hormone, whereas the stem cells, they replace any kind of cells during the mucosal erosion because of HCl. And the lamina propria is scanty because it is engorged with these gastric glands. And next to the lamina propria, there is muscularis mucosa. Muscularis mucosa is got inner circular and outer longitudinal muscles, and the muscularis mucosa sends septa which project into the mucosal folds. And below the muscularis mucosa, we have got the submucosal layer. The submucosal layer consists of loose areolar tissue, and the nerve plexus present in the submucosal layer is called as Meissner's plexus. And then the muscularis externa. Apart from the other part of gastrointestinal tract, the stomach has got an extra layer which is called as oblique layer. So it has got the innermost oblique, then circular, then longitudinal. Between the circular and longitudinal layer, there are nerve plexus which are called as myenteric plexus, which are also called as Auerbach's plexus. So this is the histology of fundus and body of the stomach. Next we shall see the histology of pyloric part of the stomach. The pyloric part of the stomach appears totally different from the fundus and body of the stomach. The pyloric part of the stomach, here the epithelium consists of simple columnar epithelium, just like the fundus, and which are mucus secreting epithelial cells, and beneath that there is a lamina propria. And within the lamina propria we can see so many pyloric glands, and these pyloric glands are mainly mucus secreting glands. So the cells appears to be empty and they get palely stained with H&E stain, and the nucleus is pushed towards the periphery, so the cells appears to be almost empty. And we can see there are long gastric pits. The gastric pits are quite longer, which occupy 2/3 of the lamina propria, whereas in the fundus and the body, the gastric pits occupy only the 1/4 of lamina propria or the mucosa. And the gastric pits continues to form the pyloric glands. Pyloric glands are branched, tubular or coiled glands, and whereas in the fundus, they are usually simple tubular or branched glands. And here the rest of the structure is almost similar, having muscularis mucosa. The muscularis mucosa has got inner circular and outer longitudinal, and below that there is a submucosa having blood vessels, lymphatics, nerves, which are called as Meissner's plexus, and muscularis externa consists of inner circular and outer longitudinal and innermost oblique muscles. The thickness of the muscles vary at different parts. In pyloric part, the circular muscle is more thicker compared to the rest of the muscle fibers, whereas in the cardiac, body and fundus, the oblique fibers, circular fibers and longitudinal fibers are equally distributed. So that is about the pyloric part. We shall continue with the microscopic histology and applied anatomy. The slide shown here is the stomach fundus or the body, which have same structure, and showing the mucus containing the mucous epithelium, and below the epithelium the lamina propria, which is engorged with gastric glands, which are the main glands present in the body and fundus. And these gastric glands consists of parietal cells, which are large beaded cells, and chief cells. And this is muscularis mucosa. which is well prominent and having inner circular and outer longitudinal layer. Below the muscularis mucosa is the submucosa. Submucosa consists of loose areolar tissue, fibroblast cells, some collagen fibers, reticular fibers, and we can see the cut sections of blood vessels and nerve plexus which are present in the submucosa, called as Meissner's plexus. And below the submucosa is muscularis externa, and it consists of inner oblique, middle circular and outer longitudinal muscles. This is a labeled picture showing under 10x magnification mucosa lined by the epithelium, which is a simple columnar epithelium, and lamina propria is engorged with gastric glands, and this is muscularis mucosa. All these three layers together called as mucosa, and submucosa the loose areolar tissue, and here is the muscularis externa. This is under 45x magnification, where we can see the simple columnar epithelium lining the mucosa, and which also secrete mucus, and the gastric pits are shallow in the fundus and continues to form the gastric glands. And here we can see nice pink color beaded appeared cells which are called as parietal cells or oxentic cells, which appears to be pink beaded cells. Points of identification for stomach, fundus and body. Mucus is lined by simple columnar epithelium, and gastric pits are shallow, which occupies only 1/4 of gastric mucosa, and with the long gastric glands, and gastric glands are lined by chief cells, peptic cells, parietal cells or oxentic cells, which gives beaded appearance, and mucous neck cells, endocrine cells and stem cells. Next, this is the slide of stomach pylorus under 10x magnification, that is in the lower magnification. We can see the mucosal folds lined by the epithelium, that is simple columnar epithelium, and the gastric pits are very long. We can see the long gastric pits occupying the 2/3 of the mucosa and continuing to form the pyloric glands. Pyloric glands occupy the less compared to that of gastric pits, and pyloric glands appears to be pale because they are mucus secreting glands containing nucleus pushed towards the periphery. The cells appears to be empty because they are filled with the mucin. And below the pyloric glands, here this is the muscularis mucosa. This is a labeled picture showing the gastric folds and pyloric glands, which are mucus secreting glands. At a higher magnification, the gastric folds are lined by simple columnar epithelium. You can see the columnar cells lining the gastric folds, and pyloric glands are present, which are pale stained cells having nucleus pushed towards the periphery. They are simple tubular or branched tubular and coiled tubular. Points of identification for stomach pylorus. Mucosa is lined by simple columnar epithelium. Gastric pits are deep. Pyloric glands open to these pits. The glands are lined by the mucus. Under applied anatomy, here is the stomach. The stomach is more prone for gastric ulcer. We can see the ulcerations of the disruption of the mucosa is called as ulcer, which occurs in the stomach, so it is called as gastric ulcer. Gastric ulcer may occur due to the damage to the gastric mucosa, and it is the most common along the lesser curvature and pyloric antrum. It is more common in the lesser curvature and pyloric antrum of the stomach. And vomiting, weight loss and deep tenderness in the midline of epigastrium, foot pain pattern, All these are the symptoms of gastric ulcer. Under endoscopy, the gastric ulcer appears to be like this, and here is the duodenal ulcer. Hope you all like my session. Please like, share, subscribe and press the bell button for further notifications.